Greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here. Every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 3 decades plus of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure, because the human biological system is a healing and regenerating system. It's designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while that may seem like a miracle to some folks, this renewing system is really nothing more than just the way the body works. And welcome to The Right Side, friends. Pharmacist Ben here. Thank you for joining us. Got lines open for you at 844-236-6010. We love hearing from you, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today, the longevity products or business health challenges you or a loved one may be dealing with, or if you just have a comment or success story you'd like to share, 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. We've got all the longevity products up, as well as news stories, blog posts, and a Join the Team Now link that you can click on if you want to sign up to join the Bright Side Ben team. Love to have you on the Bright Side Ben team. We can help you build your business. If you're an entrepreneur, it's a great business opportunity. And if you're an entrepreneur who likes the health business, the multi-billion, $100 billion health business, and you like helping people and you want to make a difference in people's lives, you want a win-win business, and you're like the entrepreneur lifestyle, which admittedly is not for everybody, the longevity business opportunity is something you want to look at. Call 866-735-2470 for more info, or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And also take a look at our True Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. Never any preservatives, fragrances, fillers, waxes, water, silicone oil, nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want in any of our True Skin Health products. True Skin Health products are health products. They're not skincare products, they're health products. That's the missing link. The way I look at it, that's the missing link in skin, how we take care of our skin. We care for the skin in this generic kind of way, but we don't address the health of the skin. For some reason, the skin gets marginalized as a part of the body that is just there for adornment, that is just there to look pretty, that is just there so we can impress our friends and strangers. But the health of the look of the skin is dependent on the health of the skin. Of course, healthy skin starts from within, and that's why you have to be on nutritional supplements. That's why you've got to use your essential fatty acids, and make no mistake about it, EFAs, your ultimate EFAs from longevity, as well as fatty vitamins, vitamins A, D, and E, and probably to a certain extent K as well, and fatty minerals like zinc and selenium are must-haves if you're going to have beautiful skin. If you're dealing with fat malabsorption issues, if you've had a gallbladder taken out, you have intestinal problems, you have liver problems, you're going to be compromised at the level of absorption of these nutrients. It's going to show up on your skin. If you have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, or leaky gut, or any kind of intestinal problems, it's going to show up on your skin. I can't tell you the number of times I've seen people who are trying to treat their rashes and their acne with benzoyl peroxide topically, or retinoic acid topically, or glycolic acid topically, or scrubbing and rubbing and trying to get rid of the zits from the outside in. It doesn't work. If you have lesions on your skin, if you have rashes on your skin, if you have sensitivities on your skin, if you have acne-like breakouts on your skin, the chances are pretty good you're dealing with some kind of digestive or internal problem. I did my moment of truth today on something called FODMAPs. And by the way, we do our moments of truth every day. I've done, I think, 100 110 or 120 straight days now. They're all up on our Facebook page, which you can follow, and you can get notified when we post on our Facebook page. Thanks, Nasima, for setting that up. And our Facebook page has all the moments of truth on them. Also, criticalhealthnews.com has got some moments of truth. Today I did my moment of truth on FODMAPs. And we haven't talked too much about FODMAPs on this program, and we haven't talked about it not because they're not important. We just haven't gotten to it yet. But they are important. I did my moment of truth today on the FODMAPS diet, the low FODMAPs diet, and the relationship of FODMAPs to skin problems. So what is FODMAPs, you may be saying? Kind of a funny term, FODMAPs. It's an acronym that stands for fermentable sugars, specifically fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. FODMAPs, F-O-D-M-A-P-S. Basically, these are sugars that aren't necessarily sweet. Some of them are sweet, but they're not necessarily sweet. And they're found in onions and garlic and mushrooms and grains. And pretty much most fruits and veggies contain these fermentable sugars. They're said to be fermentable because they get fermented by bacteria in the gut. And when gut bacteria ferment these sugars, number one, they proliferate, and that can cause problems. Excessive amounts of bacteria, the wrong bacteria in the intestine. Some of you may have heard of SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. This is a major health issue that affects the skin. It affects all kinds of parts of the body, but we've been talking about the skin, so we'll limit this to the skin. SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, can affect the skin. And FODMAP sugars feed bacteria, exacerbating the small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. If you're eating veggies, if you're a vegetarian, you may be under the impression, oh my goodness, I'm just eating vegetables, so I am really healthy. A lot of vegetarians have this idea. I'm just eating veggies. There's a holier-than-thou kind of attitude that some vegetarians have. Not everybody, not all vegetarians, but some vegetarians have this holier-than-thou idea. Oh my gosh, I'm just eating veggies, so I'm really healthy. No. Veggies have lectins in them. We've talked about those in the past, and they also have FODMAPs in them. So you may be breaking out. You may be bloated. You may have sensitive skin. You may have digestive discomfort, and you may just be eating veggies. And you may say, what the heck is going on here? I'm eating really good. I'm only eating organic. I can't tell you the number of times people who have messed up skin and messed up health issues, autoimmune problems, say, but I just eat organic. But I just eat the 10 good foods. It doesn't matter. That 10 good food stuff, that doesn't help us. The simple-minded nature of how we look at nutrition, it doesn't help us. The simple-mindedness of the 10 good foods, the 10 bad foods. And well-meaning. Some people need to have nutrition simplified, I understand. But it doesn't serve us if we're dealing with a disease and we're eating just the 10 good foods and we're eating only organic if we don't address the complexity and all the minutiae of the details of the nutritional composition of our foods. FODMAPs, these sugars, can wreak havoc on the skin, wreak havoc on the joints, be associated with all kinds of digestive problems, flatulence and diarrhea and constipation and bloating and digestive discomfort and just feeling like the foods you're eating weigh 1,000 pounds in your stomach. All of these can be related to these FODMAP sugars. Boiling your foods can be a great way to break down FODMAPs. The FODMAPs are water soluble, so they come out in the water. A pressure cooker helps too sometimes. Pressure cooker can drive the FODMAPs into the water. So if you're having digestive problems and you love veggies, and you love onions, and you love garlic, try boiling them first, or try pressure cooking your veggies first. You can find all kinds of information on low FODMAPs diet. And by the way, spices and natural flavors can sometimes act as FODMAPs containing substances that can cause problems with the skin. What I'm saying here, folks, is we've got to, if we're dealing with a health problem, if we're dealing with a skin problem, if we're dealing with a health challenge, we've got to break down what we're eating. We've got to go down to, this is why a food diary is so important. You've got to isolate the foods you're eating. It's the first thing you want to do if you're dealing with a health challenge. And it doesn't matter if you're eating organic or only the 10 good foods. If you're dealing with a health challenge that's chronic and long-term, the chances are really good it's got something to do with what you're eating. All right, we got John Bush coming up at the bottom of the hour. We're going to talk about kratom. We haven't talked about kratom on this program. I don't think we've talked about it at all, but it's kind of an interesting plant with analgesic properties and relaxing properties. We'll talk to John Bush at the bottom of the hour. And get your phone calls next segment. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. We are back on the bright side. Pharmacist Ben here. We're going to talk to John Bush at the bottom of the hour about kratom. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this stuff. It's an herb or a plant, or it's an extract of a plant, leaves of a plant, I guess, or leaves of a tree. And it's got some really interesting properties. It acts as a pain reliever. It acts as a anti-diarrheal. It could be used for folks who are trying to withdraw from opiates. The Mayo Clinic doesn't like it. The Mayo Clinic says it's unsafe and ineffective, but that flies in the face of what a lot of people who are using kratom say, interestingly. So much for the Mayo Clinic's advice. Anyway, John Bush, some of you guys may know him from Austin. He's going to be talking about kratom with us at the bottom of the hour. We'll get your calls this segment, 844-236-6010. Did you guys hear about Rush Limbaugh? Rush Limbaugh was diagnosed with advanced lung cancer. Not a big Rush Limbaugh fan, although he's somewhat entertaining, I will say. But that's total, just an awful tragedy. He's only 69 years old, advanced lung cancer. I don't know if he smoked. I know he smoked cigars. I don't know if he smoked cigarettes. But you don't have to smoke cigarettes to get lung cancer, advanced lung cancer. And then this morning I read that an actress named Shannon Doherty, Shannon Doherty, she was on some shows back in the 70s and 80s, Beverly Hills 90210. She's got advanced breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer. Folks, listen, we are just one day away from being diagnosed with these horrible things like cancer. That's why it's so important to take the ball into your own court and start a nutritional supplement program today. Start to change the way you eat today. Start to practice the mental and emotional strategies we talk about in this program every day today. Start to exercise today. Meditate today. Relax the body today. Connect with spirituality, God, Jesus, whatever you want to call it, today. You don't want to wait till you're diagnosed. Now, Rush Limbaugh and Shannon Doherty and anybody who's diagnosed with a horrible condition should know that cancers remit. They go away. They go backwards. And nobody knows how this happens except for people who understand that the body is a healing and regenerating system. So if you've been, God forbid, diagnosed as such, know that you can change your life. And you should change your life. Even if you're not going to be cured of your disease, you're going to feel better. If you have stage 4 cancer or advanced cancer, you're going to feel better. If you're on chemotherapy and you start a nutritional supplement program, you're going to feel better. If you have stage 4 cancer and you don't do chemotherapy and you start a nutritional supplement program and you exercise and you practice your slow, deep breathing techniques, et cetera, you're going to feel better. And that should be the goal, in my opinion. If you're dealing with a health challenge, your goal should be to feel better. Not to cure, not to get some magical cure, not to have your diagnosis reversed, but to feel better. And that's not a medical issue. Feeling better is nothing that the medical model can do. The medical model can change your diagnosis, but it can't help you feel better and stronger and more vital. That's in the realm of lifestyle. All right, 844-236-6010. We'll do one story and then we'll get your calls. 844-236-6010. John Bush talking about kratom at the bottom of the hour. I found this extremely interesting. I was going to hold off till tomorrow. Maybe I'll hold off on that one till tomorrow. I'll do this one instead. Sunscreen dangers continue to be exposed. I have been talking about this for decades, and I have been ripped by people who sell sunscreens and by folks who should know better, telling me how irresponsible I am for telling people that sunscreens are dangerous. I'm just talking like a chemist here. I'm not talking like a clinician. I'm talking like a chemist. Sunscreens are toxic, period. End of story. So you think I'm surprised when JAMA, the Journal of the American Medical Association, came out with a study on sunscreen ingredients that found that they're toxic? And what's worse, according to this study from the January 21st edition in JAMA, they go into the blood. You put your sunscreen on your skin, they end up in the blood. Blood levels were measured for 6 active ingredients used in sunscreens. Chemicals tested were oxybenzone, unbelievably nasty molecule, oxybenzone. You can only use it in trace amounts in your formulations. It's so nasty. Octocrylene, homosalsate, octosalicylate, octinoxinate, which is the most common one, also known as octylmethoxycinnamate. I know these terms are a bit overwhelming, but it's so important that we at least try to pronounce and to understand and to get a feel for these chemicals, because they're killing us and they're killing our children and they're ruining the ocean and they're killing the fish and the coral. And avobenzone. Results showed that after one application, all 6 ingredients were found in the bloodstream of participants on the same day. You really want to put that on your kid? You really want to put that on yourself? Use zinc oxide. And if you have to use a sunscreen, get it off your skin as soon as possible and use as low an SPF as possible. I'll probably do a moment of truth on this. It's so important. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Georgia and say good morning to Don. What's going on, Don? Welcome to the bright side.
Hey, Ben, how you doing? Quick question. I have
Yes.
a quick couple of questions, actually.
Yes,
One
sir.
is I'm trying to figure out in my sleep when I feel like I have to urinate in my sleep or use the restroom.
Urinate in your sleep? Wait a minute.
No. When I have to wake up, to urinate, I start to itch incessantly before I wake up to use the restroom.
What part of your body itches? What part of your body? Your genitals or just the body?
No. The creases of the arms, creases behind the knees.
Something's trying to escape your body, is what it sounds like.
And then the minute I wake up out of my sleep and urinate, the itching stops.
Yeah, that something's trying to. What you could be doing is you could be accumulating some toxicity in there. Do you have any digestive issues going on? That's usually the first thing to look.
Some serious gas, like.
No, you might be dealing with some SIBO issues, and you might be dealing with some histamine issues. You got to look at the food thing. And I think I talked to you before. I think you had some other stuff happen.
We did.
Yeah,
we've been
you're like on the
it.
healing journey, aren't you? As I recall.
Yes.
Yeah. Stay on track. Your body's trying to eliminate something, and that's a good thing. Drink lots of water. You may not want to drink too close to bed if you don't want to get up in the middle of the night, but you should be drinking a gallon of water a day. Now, keep in mind that when you drink that much water, you're going to be clearing out toxicity, but you'll also be clearing out nutrients. So make sure you spike in some Beyond Tangy Tangerine in with that water occasionally.
How do you feel about some Celtic sea salt in the water?
Love it.
Okay,
First thing in the morning, especially. Love Celtic sea salt. First thing in the morning, folks. Not a lot, but just enough to where it tastes delicious to you. It'll taste delicious to you at a certain point, and then it won't taste delicious, and that's when you know you had enough. Hey, I want to get one more call in, Don. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for your call. Okay. Hey, my friend David. David in Santa Cruz. What's up, David?
Hi, Ben. So I'm having recurrent prostate cancer issues.
Is it cancer?
Yeah, they did a bone scan and 3 PET scans and the whole.
Did they say how far along you were?
It's pretty slow. I mean, it's not too far along because it took 3 PET scans to even find it. You know.
Hey, listen, this is a very important subject, and unfortunately, we only have about 30 seconds, so I can't address it. So I'd like you to call me tomorrow because it's a very, very important subject. Prostate cancer is not. They make it seem a lot worse than it is, especially if it's slow growing.
And that's why I called you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very treatable. There's a lot of things you could do. Do not take any irrevocable measures, in my opinion, unless it's really advanced, where you have your prostate taken out or they stick drugs inside your body. There's lots you can do. Please call me tomorrow. In fact, I will make it a point to talk about the prostate tomorrow anyway. But call me tomorrow and we can address it. I'm sorry, I hate to do this to you, but we're out of time.
Okay.
All right. We got John Bush coming up. We're going to talk about kratom tomorrow. I'm sorry, kratom went at the bottom of the hour. We'll talk about the prostate on our next episode. John Bush at the bottom of the hour. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. All right, we are back on The Bright Side. Pharmacist Ben here. Let's see. We got John Bush coming up. We're going to talk about kratom. John is from Austin, Texas. For you guys listening in Austin, formerly the owner of Brave New Books, where I met him when I was doing talks at Brave New Books. You are listening to The Bright Side. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on the archive page at brightsideben.com. Also, news stories and blog posts and various and sundry health information, videos, and moments of truth up at criticalhealthnews.com, pharmacistben.com, as well as brightsideben.com. And all our Truth Skin Health products are available at truthtreatments.com. So I am very excited to have John on. John is an expert in kratom. He's been talking to me about kratom for a couple of years now, and I haven't really experienced the benefits of kratom, but I've been reading a lot about it. I've also been reading a lot of negative stuff about it, mostly from the Mayo Clinic and Mayo Clinic-like websites, and the medical model is definitely not fond of kratom, which is unfortunate, at least based on all the stuff you read about kratom from folks who've benefited from it. John has been a health, freedom, and liberty activist for over 15 years. He started Brave Botanicals 3 years ago, and his goal is to share the benefits of various forms of plant medicine with those in need of relief. Please welcome to the bright side my friend John Bush. What's up, John?
Hey, Ben. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm very excited to talk to you. I've been hearing so much about Kratom. I've been asked all kinds of questions about Kratom. And what I tell people is people who use it swear by it, even though the medical model doesn't seem fond of it. The Mayo Clinic on their website, they call it unsafe and ineffective, which is not a raving testimonial, obviously. What say you about Kratom?
Well, there's definitely a lot of misinformation and propaganda put out by the FDA and CDC and all these little Mayo Clinic sites, and WebMD often parrot that, as does the mainstream media. But from my personal experience and the testimonials of many of my customers, it is a game changer for a lot of people that are basically at their wits' end with a lot of the solutions that are offered by the medical establishment. It's one of those things where people research and they try everything and they're prescribed a whole multitude of pharmaceuticals and nothing's really doing it for them. And then they find Kratom, much like CBD, and they're like, wow, this is the relief that I've been looking for. And they're surprised that it would come in a plant form.
When you say game changer, that's big, okay? Give me some specifics. What do you mean by game changer? Like it changes people's lives. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, a lot of people take it for pain. So it's the powderized leaves of the Kratom evergreen tree. It's grown primarily in Southeast Asia. We import ours from Indonesia. There's red varieties. This is about the color of the leaves and the color of the veins in the leaf. And then there's green and white. The red varieties are primarily taken for chronic pain, relaxation. They have a little bit more of a sedative effect. And a lot of people, a majority of people, take Kratom for chronic pain. These are folks that were feeling loopy, sick, had trouble keeping up with their family or their grandchildren, for example. One of my early customers, she was addicted to Percocet, and she was trying to quit for so long because she would find herself just out of it. And the 4 grandkids are running around her house, and she's like shaking up and down on the bed because she's just so looped out from the Percocet. And she wasn't able to quit because these opioids have really major withdrawal symptoms when you're taking them for a long time, and the medical establishment doesn't tell you how to come down from them or transition off of them. And so a lot of people take the Kratom because it helps them to transition away from the opioids. It helps minimize the withdrawal symptoms. But then on top of that, they find that they have the same relief, or in fact better relief for the chronic pain than they had with the opioids, but without all the crazy side effects. And so that's one of the big things that a huge game changer for people. It's given them their life back when they were either hardcore dependent, looking for their next pill, or even a lot of people in this opioid crisis, they turn to heroin because the opioids are no longer doing it for them. And a lot of people are given their life back because they're no longer dependent or addicted on these pretty harmful substances.
So Kratom helps people withdraw from opiates. It's got pain-relieving properties on its own. Do you get addicted to Kratom?
Well, that's a good question. So the word addicted, I'm doing a lot of research. This guy, Dr. Gabor Mate, he's a medical doctor, and he focuses on addiction and trauma and stuff. And he talks about addiction. One of the elements of addiction is that there's negative effects. However, you continue to do it even though there's negative consequences for yourself or your family, right? So now there are some people that do get addicted to Kratom. A lot of them were formerly addicted to something else, and they've transitioned to a plant addiction, which, in my opinion, it's not ideal. You know, obviously we want to do the work. We want to transition to sobriety or totally natural alternative remedies, meditation, yoga, all that good stuff, and do the work. But it's definitely an example of harm reduction when people were formerly addicted to heroin or OxyContin, and now they become addicted to a plant because, unlike the opioids, which cause hardcore respiratory depression, and that's the main cause of death when people OD on these pain pills and stuff, it's highly unlikely that anyone's going to die from taking Kratom alone. That's not what the FDA or CDC will tell you, but when you unpack their numbers, you see that it's a bunch of hogwash. But besides that, if Kratom is used responsibly and you're not taking a whole lot of it every single day for an extended period of time, then you won't become physically dependent on it. But that possibility does exist indeed, yes.
Is there toxicity and side effects?
Constipation is a side effect if you're taking a lot of it. The FDA, when they put out their propaganda, I go in and try to research it all, right? Because the mainstream media, they'll just parrot all of the headlines and sensationalism. So I'll go in and try to dig a little deeper. One of the things they said is that it can cause severe liver damage. So I wanted to go, see what that was all about. So I actually found a couple studies that say in severe cases where someone is using a very high amount of kratom every single day for multiple months, it can be taxing or damaging to the liver. However, there's a lot of testimonials from my customers and people that use kratom for years, and they say when they go to the doctor for their checkups and everything, their liver enzymes are fine. So like plant medicine, and when people take responsibility for their own health, it's important to use these alternative remedies responsibly and to use them cautiously, not to become dependent, just to do your best to maintain balance in your body. And, of course, listen to your body. That's the best guide.
That's always the best guide. Listen to your body. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to John. Don't listen to your doctor. Listen to your body. Your body is your doctor. Your body is your authority. That's great advice, John. Hey, is there any nutritional benefits to kratom? Do you know?
I can't say that there are really. The nutritional content, there's not much in it. It's the powderized leaves of the tree. There's probably some chlorella in the leaf, but mainly it's the alkaloids in it. One of them is mitragynine, and the other one's 7-hydroxymitragynine. Those are the active compounds that have an effect on your body's opioid systems, serotonin, dopamine, and others.
Now, you don't smoke it, do you?
No, I wouldn't
take it as a tincture.
Smoking it. I've never tried that, but probably not a good idea.
You take it as a tincture, correct?
Some people do extracts, but I don't sell extracts. I would advise against the extracts. They tend to have a higher concentration of the alkaloids and maybe would increase the abuse potential. I just take it as the raw powder mixed with 16 ounces of water. A lot of people mix it with juice. And then we also sell capsules because it does kind of taste like bitter green tea. And so taking it in capsules avoids that. But I think the effect is a lot more thorough when you're drinking it.
People chew on the leaf, though. The indigenous folks where it grows, they chew on the leaf, correct?
Yep, that was the original way that it was taken, or was brewed in a tea.
Hang on, John. I want to ask you a couple questions about your personal experience with it, so don't go away. We got to take a commercial break. We're talking to John Bush from Brave New Botanicals about kratom. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. We are back on The Bright Side talking to John Bush from Brave New Botanicals about kratom. Not a favorite of the FDA or the Mayo Clinic, as we said, John, but a lot of folks get benefits from it for stress, for anxiety, for chronic pain issues. You use it yourself, correct?
Yes, I do.
And you don't have any frank health issues. You're just taking it as a just to feel better. What's the purpose for it? Why do you use it?
Well, I take it mainly as an entrepreneur. Usually around like 1 o'clock or so, my brain starts to get a little foggy. I'm not as sharp as I was a couple hours ago. And so I'll have a couple teaspoons, and it really just helps to give me a boost of energy and focus, kind of sharpens the mind. And then I also take it for stress and anxiety. I'm not generally very stressed, but at times I am. I do have 2 children. They're 6 and 8, and recently went through some pretty big life changes regarding my relationship, and that was pretty stressful. And so it really just helps to kind of take the edge off if you're feeling a little overwhelmed or just stressed out about life. It just helps to kind of smooth things out. It even helps to give you an easier mindset where you're thinking a little more positively. And so earlier we spoke about the red varieties, which people primarily take for chronic pain, relaxation. They have a sedative effect, a light sedative effect. There's also green and white. And so the white varieties tend to be a little more uplifting, energetic, good for focus, stress and anxiety. Some people take it instead of drinking if they're going to go out because it kind of, like I said, it kind of eases you a little bit. It's good for a social lubricant, as people call it. My girlfriend girlfriend, actually, she was taking Adderall, which is basically legal meth, for years and years, from college through her career. And it was leading to a lot of problems because she would feel the need to drink when she would get off work to pump the brakes, as she said, because she was so wired up. So I helped her to transition away from the Adderall using our White Lightning Kratom, and she completely quit Adderall, and she really cut down on her drinking as a result of it. So a lot of people are using it not only instead of these prescription pain medicine, but also instead of Adderall and even depression medicine and stuff. And of course, always, if you want, you need to consult your physician, go with your gut, don't take my word for it. And then the green varieties, they're kind of in the middle. They're more similar to the white ones in that they're uplifting and help with focus and stress and anxiety, but they tend to have a little bit more of a euphoric effect, a little stronger for the stress and kind of taking the edge off than the white ones.
So you got 3 varieties. You got the green, the red, and the white, correct? And the red is for the pain. Red is for the pain relief. The green, you said, is more euphoric.
Yes, the green's good for pain if you take a larger amount, and a smaller amount, it's a little bit uplifting, energetic, and it's really good for stress and anxiety.
And the white?
The white's the sharper. It's good for focus, motivation.
Got it.
If you're going out and hanging out and you don't want to drink and your friends are drinking, you can mix up a Kratom drink and still kind of feel like you're fitting in and getting along with them drinking, but you're drinking a plant instead of alcohol.
Okay, gotcha. Now, you're going to have to send me some of this stuff so I can talk about it on the radio.
Yeah, I will for sure. And we actually, because it's been so hard, like I just got banned from Facebook for promoting Kratom again.
Seriously?
We've had YouTube videos pulled down. In fact, the Brave New Books YouTube channel got pulled down because we had Kratom videos.
Well, that must mean it works. That must mean it works then.
That's right. So we tried to, in order to get around that, I thought, you know what? Because it's so hard to reach people with this awesome plant, I'm just going to give it away for free. So I set up a website, freeounceofkratom.com. freeounceofkratom.com. People can go to that site, simply pay $5 shipping and handling, and we'll ship you a free ounce. And then after you add the ounce to cart, you're presented with a one-time offer to get 50% off the 4 other strains. So you can try all 5 of our different varieties. There's 2 reds, 2 greens, and 1 white, and then you'll be able to get a feel for how they affect you, and maybe 1 or 2 work better for you than others.
That's awesome. Free ounce of Kratom?
freeounceofkratom.com. And our website's myBraveBotanicals.com, myBraveBotanicals.com. But if you want to give it a try, no risk, then you just go to freeounceofkratom.com.
And that's O-U-N-C-E.
Yes, O-U-N-C-E, not O-Z. I will say also, in addition to the censorship through social media and videos and stuff, we're not able to accept debit cards and credit cards. Now, even though Kratom is legal in most of the states and jurisdictions, it is illegal in 6 states. I think what happened there is they coupled it in with K2 and spice, which is like synthetic marijuana, really bad for you, and there's like an epidemic in the homeless community. Kratom's nothing like that, but ignorant lawmakers were like, oh, look, there's a bag of Kratom next to a bag of K2 at the gas station or whatever. But it's legal in most jurisdictions, but because of a Department of Justice from the Obama-era program called Operation Choke Point, that's why it's hard to accept credit cards for stuff like CBD, Kratom, even the firearm industry, the adult toy industry. They try to shut down credit card transactions. So we do e-checks. It's totally safe and secure. People just use their checking account and routing number, and it's like an electronic check draft. And we use this very reputable company that has an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. So that's our way around their little payment blockade. And, of course, you can mail a check as well. There's instructions on the site for people to do that if they want to try.
So they really don't want people using this Kratom stuff.
Yeah, it's, the Kratom industry is estimated to do like between 1 and 5 billion. There's not any specific numbers out there, but there's trade associations that estimate it's like 1 to 5 billion a year. And the prescription pain medicine industry is like 20 to 25 billion, somewhere around there. So it's actually a significant chunk of the revenue that this natural plant is taking away from the pharmaceutical companies. There have been efforts to synthesize the alkaloids in Kratom, which I think the raw plant is the best way to go. But if people that aren't comfortable with that, or people that feel better being prescribed something, if they're able to do this, there actually could be a lot of medical promise, again, because the alkaloids in kratom, they do have the pain relieving effects because they interact with the opioid receptors, but they don't cause the respiratory depression, which is why we have this terrible epidemic and so many deaths every single day. So hopefully that carries through, and hopefully they leave the raw plant matter legal and untouched as well.
I don't know if you know the answer to this, but is the mechanism of action for pain relief the same as with opiates? Does it work with the opiate receptor, endorphins, and all that kind of stuff?
Yes, but it doesn't. There's this great documentary on Netflix called A Leap of Faith, and one of the doctors gives this really good explanation of like a piano. And so when you take morphine or Oxycontin, it goes in and it bangs on the keys really hard. So it's really banging on the opioid receptors really hard. And the kratom is much more of a subtle touch. That's why it's much easier to become dependent on the other opioids. And then it doesn't interact with all the receptors, like the mu and alpha receptors, the same way. And so really it just has a lot of benefits compared to opioids. And like I said before, it does help with the pain, but it isn't as physically dependent, and then it doesn't have the respiratory depression. It also doesn't have the weird loopy effects as well, which is why a lot of people prefer it.
Does it have any psychological effects, like feeling stoned or anything like that?
So it's very subtle. Like I was saying with the euphoria, it does feel good, but if anybody's used cannabis or THC, it's not as much of a state change as that. It's a very subtle effect, whereas you could just go about your day just the same. You just may be in a little bit better of a mood. So it's very light. And I always encourage people when they try it for the first time to take it on a full stomach, because if someone were to take too much maybe the first time, they might feel a little nauseous. That happens very rarely, but in order to minimize that, it's good to take it on a full stomach and take a very, very small amount, like maybe 1 or 2 capsules, or like a quarter of a teaspoon or a half teaspoon. Then you mix it with a big glass of water or juice, and then you drink it slowly. So you're not taking a big dose at once. You can kind of drink it slowly and regulate how much more you have. Maybe it starts to feel a little bit good, and you're like, okay, this feels okay. I like this. Then you could drink a little bit more. But maybe if you're like, oh, I don't know if this is jiving with me, then you could back off of it a little bit.
So you can drive and you can work, and none of those are problems. You can function like a normal person.
Yeah, I actually make it a point to take it when I'm going on road trips because, again, like if you're kind of losing some of your mental alertness and you take one of the whites or a little bit of the green, then it kind of just helps to give you a little boost of focus and actually helps with the road trips. Now, the reds may make people feel a little bit sedated, maybe just a little bit drowsy. So you just got to use it accordingly. And like we were saying earlier, it's all about just listening to your body. And I think people that are in natural health are able to do that a little bit more than people that aren't paying attention at all. You can kind of really get in tune with your body and then use your body as your guide.
I love it, John. Thank you so much. Give us your website real quick. Both websites.
freeounceofkratom.com. Freeounceofkratom.com. You can try a free ounce of our most popular strain, Green Manga. And if you just want to check out the general website, it's mybravebotanicals.com.
John, thank you so much, buddy. You're doing great work, and I will definitely be in touch with you about kratom. John Bush from Brave New Botanicals. Thanks for joining us, John. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Ben.
All right, take care, man. That was John Bush, Brave New Botanicals, freeounceofkratom.com. I guess you can't beat that. And that is all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side, friends. I am Pharmacist Ben. Please check out our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com for the longevity products, and truthtreatments.com for truth skin health products. Have a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.